May I please have your attention, Rays, and some others? It's a beautiful day here in Tennessee, and old KJ wants to get with you over my thoughts, my opinions of Lori Hussy Daybell and her Dateline interview that will be airing next Friday night. First and foremost, OKJ's not going to be watching it, but I will release a skit in, I guess what you call, in honor of the freaking evilness. Not the honor of it, but by God, I'm going to release a skit because that woman is a freak show. That woman is a shit show. That woman is a clown. But when Lori seeks attention, she does not see, y'all, she does not see past the goal of receiving that attention. Think about that. She does not care who she hurts. She sure as hell doesn't tell the truth to get the attention. What was it, that little Nate Eaton preview there where she says, I'm going to tell you the truth, Keith. She's so freaking, that's just diabolical, y'all. In fact, Lori spews the lies with her forked tongue, and in this case, the way that she's able to get attention in her life is to have become a serial killer. She's getting her attention, y'all. Of course, people are going to turn their attention to the evil, diabolical nature of this hussy. They're going to. I would say probably thousands, if not a million, people from all over the world is going to watch this Dateline interview with that hooker. Okay? I mean, y'all. This is my graphic here. Does this woman look happy to be in the spotlight? Look at her. She's a freaking witch. She is disgusting. She wants to believe that people's attention are going to be drawn to her for her intelligence and her beauty and her lowercase b, d and E and F and G. Bullshit. But once Lori gets the attention, y'all, she'll have to face the reality that she cannot control the attention. Let me repeat that. She's not going to be able to control it. If you want to think she's narcissistic, which I know she is, or if you want to believe she's demon-possessed, or both, she's not going to be able to control the narrative. She's going to say what she's going to say, but that doesn't mean that she can control how people are going to take that. And you and I both know that everyone thinks this woman is a disgusting piece of shit. She cannot make the attention she's getting, has gotten in the past, what she's getting now, and next Friday on Dateline. She cannot make the attention she's receiving suit her bullshit narrative. There's no way she can do that. No one's going to believe a damn word this hooker says. She cannot force others to demonstrate their attention in a way that's going to give her pleasure or power or even purpose. She's not going to be able to control a damn bit of it. And the spotlight that she has decided to step into, y'all, is a light shining into the dark deeds that she has done, and indeed, she will get attention. It just won't be the kind of attention that she envisions. But no amount of attention will ever make her right. It will not make her a victim. And it sure as hell is not going to make her innocent. In fact, we all know it. She's a monster, a serial killer, and in my view, demon possessed. Perhaps the attention she is seeking will teach others what evil is in this world. She's always, throughout her entire history, from what we know, she's always sought the limelight. She's always gotten the attention. Growing up, being the center of attention, cheerleading, Mrs. Texas, the whole freaking 9 yards, always in the middle of something so that people will look at her. Yes, that's her narcissism coming out, but it's also her pathetic attempt to be relevant. What kind of attention, y'all? What kind of attention did she get from old chatty boy, old little gherkin man there, huh? And how was she able to get that attention from him, huh? The only attention he wanted from her was to spread her legs and him jump feet first in with a 2x4. That's what he wanted. He wanted to jiggle them. He wanted to play with them. He wanted to play with her. She was a trophy for him. And she knew how to do it to it. She knew how to send those videos of her dancing, probably twerking. She probably did all of that. But hey, this hooker says in her motion, I don't want cameras in the courtroom. Court TV, they're just out to really hurt people and all of this and that. And then she wants to turn around and be on Dateline with Keith Morrison. Or Morris, excuse me. She's such a hypocrite. It is freaking unbelievable. A Dateline with your city and county as content will get attention in Arizona, says sis, you should have been a detective. Canyon Jam says, love this place. So glad for this review. I'm always wondering what the heck is going on now. Well, Canyon Jam, I'm not going to be watching the Dateline. I know that Krisha K. Easton has a thumbnail out for, I think it's March 11th, which I'm going to go over that very quickly, where everybody's going to be over there at Difficult Research for when she does the hearing that's coming up on March the 11th. Now, I don't know what she's going to do for the Dateline thing, but I'm telling y'all now, I'm releasing a skit on Friday. This week, we're going to talk about self-defense. We're going to talk about other things, specifically about whether or not this whole situation, I mean, who the hell? What kind of standby counsel is going to say, yeah, Glory, go get on Dateline? After you've been in a freaking trial in Idaho, freaking it's your allocution telling everybody there was no murders, nothing like that. And then, of course, the question of Kobe Ryan's recorded call with her. What about that? And I'll tell you something. This hooker is in for it. She's going to get all the damn attention she wants. So, let's just go over this status conference real quick, and then I'm going to give y'all a really good reason why she's going to get all the attention that she could ever even do anything with, but it ain't going to be the kind of attention that she's going to want. A status conference is set on March the 11th at 8:30 a.m. It's going to be about an hour long. This is what they're going to be addressing. Court TV's camera requests and the defendant's objection therein. Well, I'll tell you what. I cannot wait for the state there in Arizona to say this hooker was on Dateline. She can't very well say that this is going to taint the jury pool because her ass is on the damn freaking Dateline. Defendants' 2 separate motions for specific discovery, which is very interesting. Lori wants communication between assigned deputy county attorney and law enforcement agencies. And the second request is for video interviews, and I guarantee you, those are the interviews that the police did between Alex Cox, Tylee Ryan, and Lori. That's what she's wanting. And here's the kicker, y'all. The next one here where it says state's motion in limine, Alex Cox's statements, and then state's motion in limine, Tylee Ryan's hearsay statements. Do they say in there Alex Cox's hearsay statements? No. They say Alex Cox's statements. But when they talk about Tylee Ryan, they're saying hearsay statements. Why not do it, both of them? We talked about this when we got the news of her wanting, not her, but the state wanting to discuss this whole issue. And I've thought about this, and I'm pretty damn sure, y'all, that when they have that hearing on the 11th, the judge is going to allow those interviews. But he's going to have to curtail Tylee in the interview saying, well, Mom said this or Uncle Alex said that in terms of those interviews. But anything outside of that, outside those interviews, before Charles was murdered or after when they went to Idaho, which we're going to talk about 404B, which is exactly why she's going to get all this attention shoved right up her damn ass. The bottom line is they're going to try to keep those statements out before and after that interview. And in Tylee's interview, there will be things that she will say that could be considered hearsay. Why they didn't put hearsay statements of Alex Cox, I don't believe, and I looked at it, that Alex said anything in his interview about Lori said this, but he did say Charles said that. So we're just going to find out what the judge does about it. My prediction is before and after those interviews, the judge is going to keep those statements out of Tylee and Alex. But in terms of the interviews, unless it's just, I really feel like, there could be some hearsay statements in those interviews. My challenge to all of you, go back, listen to Tylee, listen to Alex, and listen to Lori. And every time they say, well, Mom said this, or Lori says Alex said that, or Charles said this, we'll find out. Also, the scheduling of the trial and jury selection schedule and process. So we're going to learn, well, of course, all of us pretty well. We've been down this road. We're going to see it. We're going to see it for what it is. The most important thing, I don't understand it, y'all. 85 days before the trial, sometime before that, they're supposed to talk about 404B, and we haven't heard anything yet. So is the state of Arizona, are they just going to keep all the pattern out? Remember, 404B isn't about to show Lori's character. It's about showing a pattern of her criminality. And we'll go over that. But 404B, Lori wants attention. She'll get it in 404B, not of her character, but in her pattern of criminality. And the question is, does Arizona have 404B? Yes. It can be used in Arizona law to limit the use of character evidence in criminal cases. What does 404B do in Arizona? It prevents the use of other crimes, wrongs, or acts to prove a person's character, but it allows the use of other crimes, wrongs, or acts to prove other things such as motive, opportunity, intent, or identity. What is identity, y'all? Here's the prohibited uses of 404B. Except as provided in Rule 404C, evidence of other crimes, wrongs, or acts is not admissible to prove character of a person in order to show action in conformity. In other words, downright, whatever, if 404B is used, they cannot impugn her hooker damn character there. But the permitted uses are the evidence may, however, be admissible for the purposes such as proof of motive, opportunity, intent, preparation, plan, knowledge, identity, or absence of mistake or accident. And let's just kind of fit that into those a little bit, why don't we? Proof of motive. 404B for proof of motive. Well, we know good and damn well there's freaking evidence there of 404B that this damn woman, her motive was to murder Charles Vallow for money, and so she could go and be with that damn asshole, Chad Daybell. That's what it was all about. This whole idea of, oh, this is religious. We really believe this. Y'all, they used that shit. In the back of their mind, they knew it wasn't real. But it was their way of getting by with it in their own mind. They lied to theirself about it. They knew. This was not nothing they firmly believed. That's how a demon operates, y'all. A demon can help you, just open you up to that damn temptation of believing stupid ass shit. Okay, so 404B does. It can prove a motive. How about opportunity? Well, there wasn't no more of an opportunity for anybody else than their mama. She was there. She was in that house. She created the opportunity by taking his phone and getting him all upset, if even that is true. Some people believe he walked in and they shot his ass and that was the end of it. And then all of that stuff about the bat and Tylee coming out of her room and all that stuff, some people believe that was all just a freaking made up crock of shit. But if it was, just for sake of argument, she created it. She wanted to rile Charles Vallow up. He didn't come over there to fight with her. He came over there to pick up his son to take him to school. And I guarantee you, y'all, she probably talked to him on the phone and got him all relaxed. Maybe in the back of his mind, he thought, well, I'm going to go pick up JJ. And, he still loved her and thought maybe, somehow if he just continued to do the right thing, that somehow they could end up back together again. But she created the hostility. She took his phone, if in fact that's what happened. Another permitted use of 404B is intent. There was no other intent but to murder his ass, okay? She wanted the $1 million and she wanted to be free of him. Period. In a sentence. Her intent to create a self-defense scenario, that goes along with preparation and plan, but intent to create a self-defense scenario in order to collect his money? Think about that. Intent. She intended, well, I can't murder him, it's got to be like it was self-defense because I won't be able to collect that money. Preparation. You think this was spur of the moment for that damn hooker. Preparation. She prepared. You know how she prepared? She got Alex over there the night before. The stupidest damn woman talking about I'm a damn translated being. I don't have to eat or sleep or shit. And yet she's telling her brother, I'm getting so sleepy. Give me a break. The preparation, lure Charles there to ambush him. Alex stayed the night, and he brought a gun. Think about that, y'all. Alex Cox brought the gun. He brought the gun. Do you think Alex, if he wouldn't have brought that gun, could have, if Charles started something, Charles would have beat his ass. Charles wouldn't have had to have a bat. Charles could have flat blasted that son of a gun. Plan can be used, a permitted use for 404B. Pure and simple. They wanted to ambush him, and then they wanted to blame him. Isn't that just like these evil-ass people? They want to do the evil shit, but then they want to put it off on somebody else. Give me a break. I know it seems like it makes no difference. It sets precedents for stupid interview ruining jury selection and possibly mess with the trial, says she should have been a detective. Well, I'll tell you, I want to know, I mean, really, she's sitting awaiting trial. She's already a convicted serial killer, and they're going to give her a right for a freaking interview with Keith Morris? I mean, is this damn woman going to get some money on her commissary? I mean, come on, y'all. Also, a permitted use of 404B is knowledge. Knowledge. Lori texts, she texts Chad about the money. I'm not going to get the money. It must have been Ned, and all this and that. I'm sure, y'all, that there was a lot of other things said between Lori and Alex and Chad. Lori texts Alex and Chad about all of this in terms of the knowledge of the freaking murder. There's no two ways about it. You would have to believe Chad knew nothing about it. Just says John Pryor, he was never charged in that. Chad was right there. He wasn't at the house, but you know what I mean. And then you've got a permitted use of 404B, identity. And I was like, identity? I mean, we all know what that nasty-ass woman, who she is, what her identity is. But just so we'll get a little justice through understanding, here it is. You'll learn something if you'll listen. Admissible evidence through identity refers to evidence that is allowed in court because it can be reliably linked to a specific person or thing, essentially proving the identity of the subject in question, thus making it relevant to the case at hand. Now, the key points about admissible evidence through identity is authentication. Y'all, we've seen that in other trials. Something has to be authenticated, right? For evidence to be considered admissible based on identity, it must be properly authenticated, meaning there needs to be sufficient proof that the evidence belongs to the person or thing it is claimed to belong to. And examples of identity-based evidence, this is something that I learned, and I hope you've learned. If you haven't learned it, that you might learn it as well. Physical evidence, right? Fingerprints, DNA samples, blood tests, clothing, weapons, or other objects with identifiable characteristics. Also, documentary evidence, passports, driver's licenses, identification cards, signed documents, emails with verifiable sender information. Also, witness testimony, and we've seen that demonstrated before in other criminal trials, where, they point them out in there, a witness identifying a person from a lineup, describing specific details about someone's appearance, or testifying about recognizing a voice. Now, the legal considerations of admissible evidence through identity is relevance, obviously. The evidence must be relevant to the case and have probative value, meaning it must make a fact or consequence more or less probable. And then, of course, the legal consideration for admissible evidence through identity is hearsay rule. Depending on the jurisdiction, some witness testimony about identifying someone else might be considered hearsay and excluded if the person making the statement is not present in court. So that is if you take that and you apply it to what the state of Arizona is going to do in this trial, it's going to open things up for you when this trial commences, okay? Now, how about absence of mistake or accident? Now, that seems pretty cut and dry, huh? It wasn't a mistake and it wasn't an accident, but in terms of legality, absence of mistake and accident in legal terms refers to a situation where evidence is presented to demonstrate that an action was not a result of an unintentional error or mishap, but rather was done deliberately and with intent, allowing the court to conclude that the accused did not make a mistake or have an accident when committing the act. It's often used as a legal argument to refute a defense claiming an action was accidental. The key points about absence of mistake and accident is evidence used. To prove the absence of mistake or accidents, court may allow evidence of prior similar acts, patterns of behavior, or specific details of the incident that indicate a deliberate choice rather than an accident. Now let's stop there. When we say prior, right? This was what we talked about a few weeks back. You know, it was one thing when we were in Idaho and they used 404B to look back on Arizona. And so I was like, wait a minute, how can they do that if what they got her on trial for happened before the other stuff in Idaho? How can they get that 404B in there? Well, y'all, I've studied it, I've researched it. They can use before the murder, after the murder, as long as it lines up with a pattern and it's connected to what? The actual murder itself. So they can use 404B to say, you know, that it was, that there were similar acts. In other words, after Charles was murdered, what did she go do? She murdered her children. She helped murder Tammy. This, my friends, is so important. And she wants the attention. They're good. If I can't say what the freaking prosecution's going to do, y'all, but it would be negligence for them not to bring up Idaho. And, you know, I know that's going to be really inflammatory. You know, hey, let the jury know she's a freaking serial killer of children and Tammy. What about Joe Ryan? There was never any charges or anything. She never got arrested for anything Joe Ryan did, but guess what? Alex Cox sure did, didn't he? He's deader than a doornail, shitting all over himself in the bathroom before he dies, which is exactly what he deserves. Well, they can bring 404B in about Alex Cox. Yeah, Alex Cox doing that to Joe Ryan and then going and doing what he did to Charles Vallow. Is it a stretch? Is it a stretch that Alex Cox did what he did to Joe Ryan and then ended up in jail for that? And then, yeah, he did that to Joe Ryan, but, you know, he didn't murder Joe Ryan, so really that's not a pattern. It's called violence. It's called violence. And guess who was right there, cracking that freaking whip? It was his freaking freaked out sister, Lori. Oh, Alex is my protector. He's everything I ever wanted in a protector. I know that everybody says that he wanted to have sex with me when we were young. And he goes out and he buys me a coat. And he's everything and then some. Give me a break. So what is the legal context of absence or mistake or accident? This concept is most commonly applied under Rule 404B of the Federal Rules of Evidence, which allow evidence of other crimes, wrongs, or acts to be omitted in certain situations, including to prove absence of mistake or lack of accident. Now, it's also a defense strategy, right? When a defendant claims their actions were a mistake or accident, and I don't think that Lori's going to put this all off on Alex, okay? The bottom line, y'all, is that these interviews in Chandler of Tylee, Lori, and Alex are going to be front and center, and they should be, because the physical evidence proves it's bullshit. He was laying on the floor and they're going to and when he shot him again, or she shot him. And remember this, just as in Idaho, she didn't have to pull the trigger to be convicted of first-degree murder. But here's the example, what I'm talking about in terms of defense strategy. If someone is accused of arson, and claims they accidentally started the fire. The prosecution might introduce evidence of previous incidents where the defendant intentionally set fire in similar situations to show an absence of mistake and suggest the current fire was deliberate. Again, y'all, Alex Cox's ghost is going to be in this trial. I just really believe it, y'all. They're going to show prior acts of Alex Cox with Joe Ryan, and they're going to show that Lori was all in it. She was all there, and they're going to see it. And then on top of it all, they have to, y'all. They have to show what happened after murdering Charles. The state has to have that opportunity. Now, how much the judge is going to allow in, I don't know. But if this judge says, we're not going to allow the fact that this hooker killed her kids and Tammy to come into this trial, and that it's just going to be, we're just going to focus in on Arizona, folks, that's not going to go over well at all with me. In terms of these interviews, think about what she said once in Idaho about Charles Vallow and Brandon Boudreaux on top of it all. Don't forget, after Charles Vallow's trial, they're going to start it all up for Brandon Boudreaux attempted murder. So this woman is shit out of luck. She's going to get all the damn attention she wants. And yeah, this Friday night, she's going to be right there with Keith Morris. And by the way, just a hint to all you Rays out there, when I do my skit of the Hussy, she's got so much to say about Keith Morris. You just wait and see, y'all. I'll get my point across about that hooker in my skit, and we'll laugh at the freaking attention that this dang freak show really deserves. Again, y'all, here it is. This ugly-ass, nasty-ass woman, she can sit there and purse her lips and act like, oh, I got my hair and makeup done. I don't give a shit how much makeup you put on her. How much dang barrel rolls are in that damn nappy ass head of hers. She's a disgusting piece of crap. Carrie Ann says, I hope Keith says loin fire. Keith Morris already said, you're already the most hated mommy in America. Oh, she didn't like that at all. She didn't like that at all, y'all. I'm telling you, I could just sense it. She wants to tell the truth. How about this? I'll try this on for size. Is it going to be the truth that she told Kobe Ryan that Tylee murdered JJ? Huh? You know, what's interesting about that is she brings that up to Kobe Ryan that Tylee did it. Tylee did it. And then she killed herself, right? Well, what the hell she got to do to say about Tammy Daybell, huh? Did Tylee kill herself and then go and her ghost knock on the door and go in there and kill Tammy too? Give me a break. Give me a break. This woman wants to rewrite the whole narrative, but she forgets what her freaking statement at her sentencing over there in Idaho said and what Kobe Ryan and her talked about. If she comes in there Friday, if we hear, I'm not going to listen to it, but I'm going to get the transcript. We're going to talk about it Saturday. I'm going to pick apart that damn hooker with the transcript. I don't want to listen to her have her interview. In my opinion, there's going to be a short bit of amount that they're going to spread out about her saying benign shit because she can't talk about anything, really. With her upcoming trial coming up, they're going to dress it up with a bunch of rerun shit. But if she does say anything, you can be sure I'm going to have something to say about it Saturday. Testimonies and evidence do not change, says Janelle Murphy. Hi, Harley62. Kathy Mama Bear's talking about Lori has told so many different stories, so many different ones. Carrie Ann says, I can't wait to see what Keith asked her. It's going to be epic to watch her squirm and get pissy. Donna, which is, says she should have been a detective, says she thinks that Lori's going to come up with another story. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm so sure. She's going to tell a huge story, convincing herself that it is the truth, says Janelle. Trevor Levesque says, I need to watch it. Which, by the way, y'all, this week leading up to that Dateline, and again, I promise you, as I look at you, I'm not going to watch it. Just as I didn't watch Kobe Ryan's thing when she talked to him, I went through the transcript. Y'all remember the live I did on that. Saturday, I'm going to get a transcript of every word that comes out of her mouth, and we're going to talk about it if you're interested. And we're going to do it that way. But Friday, I will have a skit waiting on all the Rays. Like a Ray surprise. Janelle Murphy says, looking old and evil, isn't she? And again, she wants the attention. We all know she does. We all know she wants the attention. She's got nothing to lose now. She knows she's going back to Pocatello Women's Prison. She's going to be part of the Lick Club there. She's going to have to deal with all that. If you want to know what I'm talking about, all you have to do is go on my thing there for Valentine's Day. It was pretty rough material, but I did warn everybody, go and listen to the facts of what it's going to be like for that hooker. Tim Towngrove says they wanted a vacation in Hawaii instead of face the facts of their monstrous acts. Yeah, they just washed their hands of it, basically. They just thought that somehow, that they could just get away with it, and that Kobe or Summer or Janice or even Larry and Kay, Kresha and all their families just going to be like, okay, we're never hearing from JJ or Tolly again. We're not going to do anything about it. Just go on, Lori. Right. So, to summarize everything up, 404B is not going to be discussed on March the 11th. Other very important things are going to be. I'm going to be interested to know what the judge is going to allow that he doesn't believe is hearsay. There's no way that those police interviews are not going to be admitted into evidence. Lori wants to find out what the district attorney and the law enforcement said. No big deal. It's not going to amount to anything. She's just curious about their chatter. And those two motions in limine, again, let me just emphasize. They said hearsay statements of Tylee Ryan, but they didn't say hearsay statements of Alex Cox. They just said Alex Cox statements. So they're wanting a ruling from the judge on, okay, judge, what are you going to allow in terms of Tylee Ryan, who is deceased, and Alex Cox, who is deceased? What are you going to allow? Yes, Donna says she should have been a detective. They will have, obviously the police are going to come in. And I'm sure that the Daybell defense team is going to probably put them over the coals, rake them over the coals about how long it took them, right? Of course, the good answer is, well, an investigation doesn't have a timeline. But, you know how... Tim, the reason I don't want to watch it is because she wants attention. I do care what comes out of it in terms of how it relates to the upcoming trial. The question I want to ask you, Tim, is this Dateline, okay? Will the judge allow excerpts or the whole thing? Remember, if you remember, some of y'all remember Jodi Arias. Remember her doing her interviews? Remember that? They allowed it in that trial. And that was where, y'all? It was in Arizona. So this Dateline will absolutely, if you want to go by the fact that Jodi Arias the state was able to show her interviews with, what was it? I can't remember the name of the crime show. But they absolutely interviewed her in jail. And she acted like, I don't know what happened and all that. That should be admitted into evidence. And so if it is, and I know that Lori is going to get advice from her stupid ass standby counsel. I mean, maybe the standby counsel couldn't talk her out of the Dateline. Or the standby counsel says, you have to get out there, Lori. You've got to put a human face on yourself, Lori. You know, let them think that, you know, you're so innocent and all this and that. I'm going to tell you what right now. I am going to get that transcript. And no, I'm not watching the Dateline. But when I hear through articles or anyone else, Crenshaw or anyone that I respect in their observations of that stupid ass hooker's interview, and she starts dogging out Charles Vallow, by God, I'm going to be madder than hell. Tim Towndrow says, I'll definitely take a look. I have reservations in rewarding Dateline with a view of or money for their exploits. This should have been a detective. Now listen, y'all. Just because OKJ's not going to watch it, just as I didn't watch Kobe, Ryan, and Lori, I didn't listen to her voice. I only put on the closed captions and read that out on this channel. Just because of that doesn't mean that other people can't. And if people want to do that, more power to them. I'm just saying that for me, I think that I can learn more by not listening to that damn demon that's inside of her. You know, some of y'all don't believe in that shit, but even Kobe Ryan has said that he thinks she's possessed. And that's not hyperbole. And there are others that believe she's demon possessed because, you know, there are people that believe in that and some people that don't. And who's right and who's wrong really makes no difference. The bottom line is she is evil, she is diabolical, and she is, in my opinion, demon possessed. Canyon Jam says, wouldn't it be fun to take a dull pair of sheep shears to the Hussy's top mop? She's sure proud of it. Oh, yeah. Her and her barrel rows, huh? I'm going to have my barrel rows ready to go on Friday. I know the Rays will enjoy a Ray surprise with the Hussy, my little skit, my satirical nonsense. But even when I make fun of her, there's always little bits of learning in there, fact, that will allow one, if they so wish, to get a little justice through understanding. So, what have I tried to get across to y'all today? Ultimately, I believe if they allow 404B in, which I just can't see them leaving it out, y'all. I can't see them leaving it out, especially if the state has 2 motions in limine to ask the judge what is going to be added and what's going to be taken out. I feel like that's really going to be the attention getter. And the reason why the hooker doesn't want cameras in the courthouse. Of course she wants to go on Dateline and spew her nasty-ass narrative. Of course she wants to make it all about herself and to blame other people. Tim Towndrow says, I'm thankful there are people paying extra attention to cases like this. Well, Tim, the Rays on here and others, we've all been together for 5 years. And I've learned more and been educated more by the comments of the people on here than I've been able to share. I only give a little sliver of whatever I can see or just to get some justice through understanding. And I couldn't think of it all. And so that's why I opened the channel, so that we could all get together and go through whatever it was, however we were going to learn, whatever was going to be talked about. So I want to leave y'all with this, and I hope that you'll really think about what this Dateline, if you are going to watch it, what does this mean in terms of the trial? And not her bullshit. Not none of the extra stupid stuff, because ultimately it can get admitted by the state there. And she's putting herself in a corner. But you know what? Do you think this hooker thinks she's going to get out of this? No. She's going to let it all hang out, just like she let her damn legs spread wide open for that damn asshole Chad Daybell. She doesn't care. She wants to be on a national TV show with Keith Morris let her. All she wants to do is hurt people, y'all. That's all she cares about. She wants to lash out. And you know why? I know this because that's what demons do. They seek to devour and destroy people. And they never stop. And that's what she wants. And she knows her time's almost up in terms of Arizona. Yes, she's got this trial and Brandon Boudreaux's coming right after it, back to back. But after that, she's going to be off in the abyss of the hell of Pocatello Women's Prison, licking here and licking there, becoming someone's damn woman. She wants to discuss people through her interview, says Janelle. Sis said, you should have been a detective, says Lori wants to be as important as COVID. She is a freaking walking disease, for sure. Hi, Tina Reddington. So let me leave you with this, okay? I tried to put this together. When I heard that she was doing this, and then I saw that. I did see that, y'all. I did see the little commercial on Nate Eaton's. And by the way, y'all, the only other article I've seen on it was a Boise radio station. If you go into the Google search engine and put Lori Daybell, there's only one article that's been written, and guess what, y'all? At the bottom of the article about next Friday's Dateline, they've got a thumbnail of Cresha K. Easton's difficult research where her little bit about, oh my gosh, my aunt, her aunt is going to be doing an interview. They have promoted Cresha, and I'm so proud for that. Carrie Ann says, I feel like this won't be the last time she does an interview. Well, I'll tell you what, Carrie Ann. The bottom line is this. If she does more interviews, and that's a very good possibility, she's seeking the attention. But the people that's going to be giving her attention are actually going to be looking at this hooker and saying, this is the red flags. This is what evil looks like. This is what disgusting, evil, child killer, serial killer people are like. So I guess she wants any attention she can get, whether it's positive or negative. Oh, well. Thank you, Donna. Let me leave y'all with this, and I hope you'll listen to this, okay? Please, for me, can I have your attention? There is nothing wrong with wanting attention. Doesn't make you selfish. It doesn't make you desperate, pathetic, or weak. It makes you human. We all need to be noticed. We all need to feel seen, heard, and valued. And we all deserve to have those needs met. You are no exception. You deserve to take up whatever space you want. You deserve to be acknowledged, loved, and cared for. You deserve to shine. Don't let anyone, including yourself, tell you otherwise. And that was from a Danielle Copike. And that does not apply to the hooker, okay? Lori Hussy Daybell is going to get attention. It will never be the kind of attention that she thinks she deserves. It's always going to be cringeworthy. It's always going to be disgusting. It's going to turn people's stomach. But at least people will see evil incarnate. So with that being said, y'all be looking later on this week. I've got a few other things before Friday. And then don't forget, Friday the skit and Saturday we're going to go over the transcript of just her talking to Keith Morris. So I love you all. Thank y'all for being here on such short notice. Don't forget to go to Cresha K. Easton of Difficult Research and support her in any way you can. Remember, she's traveling to Arizona to see the trial. If you can give monetary support, please, please do it. It means so much. And I love you all. Have a great afternoon and keep on looking.